Hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar, Skin Aging and Aesthetic Medicine, the Fundamentals of Skin Aging. Before we get going, can we just ask everybody just to place yourselves on mute and also just turn your cameras off as well, please. Okie dokie, great. So as I said, hello just to our current viewers, but also hello to those who are watching from home. As I said, this session is going to be recorded, so you might find that you end up watching the webinar back at a later date. Some of you are already aware, but throughout 2021, we're going to run a series of webinars which focus on our PG certificate in skin aging and aesthetic medicine here at the University of Manchester. So our first webinar of the series, some of you may have joined for that, but that's covered the aesthetic arena, and it just provided you with an overview of the course and the units. If you missed the event, as I said, it is available to watch back, and if you'd like me to send you the link, please just email studyonline@manchester.ac.uk and I'll send that over. But today's webinar, we're going to specifically focus on the first unit of the course, which is, as I've said, the fundamentals of skin aging. So just as you can see from the agenda, today we'll probably look at a webinar of around sort of 20 to 30 minutes. So I'll go through the introductions, a little bit about why Manchester, and then I'll hand over to our guest panel today, Rachel and Helen. They'll talk through the actual course and the nitty-gritty of the units as well. At the end of the session, we are going to host, as I said, a Q&A, which is a fantastic opportunity. So if there's anything you're unsure of with regards to the course, you know, or potentially joining us and how you're going to fit that into your other commitments, please do let us know, and we'll hopefully provide you with some advice on that. Okay. So to start with then, why Manchester? So we are a leading research intensive university. 83% of our research is ranked as either world leading or international excellence. We've had 25 Nobel Prize winners who have worked or studied here. Credibility wise, we are ranked 5th best university in the UK and 23rd best university in the world. We actually have gone up some rankings as well this year, which is absolutely fantastic for our students and also for the team here at the university. And our reputation is backed by a rich heritage of achievements stretching back to 1824. So yes, as I said, we have been around for quite some time. Why study with us? As you might have heard in the first webinar that we did, the course is designed and supported by national and international leaders in aesthetic research, regulation and clinical practice from a world-class interdisciplinary team. So a qualification from the University of Manchester will give you the confidence, knowledge and skills to practice at the highest standards and in accordance with latest techniques and guidance. As I said, with the population ages, non-invasive cosmetic treatments become more mainstream. There's a high demand for highly skilled specialist practitioners, and studying with one of the best universities in the UK, it really will give you that internationally recognised qualification that's important for your patients' trust and also to prepare you to succeed in an ever increasingly regulated industry. Just in regards to our online community, I know we do get a lot of questions from students with regards to what online means. It certainly doesn't mean that you'll be working alone. We really do have a thriving online community of students, so there'll be lots of opportunities to collaborate with peers and obviously the course academics throughout the course. The course is delivered completely exclusively online, and it really is designed to fit around your lifestyle. So you can study within your breaks at work or at home, during the evening or weekends, whatever works best for you. So that's a brief introduction just to Manchester and as I said, our online community. What I'd now like to do is just hand over to our guest speaker, Professor Rachel Watson.
Thanks so much, Lisa, and welcome to everybody watching today. My name's Rachel Watson and I'm Professor of Cutaneous Science here at the University of Manchester. I'm joined also by my very good colleague, Dr. Helen Graham. And really we're here just to tell you a little more detail about the unit that we offer on fundamentals of skin aging. This is a prerequisite unit to our course for the full course on skin aging and aesthetic medicine. So a little bit about our backgrounds. So Helen is the academic course director. She has a background in, I guess, the understanding of how to teach. She has a PhD in biochemistry of the extracellular matrix, and she studied here in Manchester and has worked here for some number of years now. I'm also Manchester through and through. I came to Manchester in 1994 as a research assistant, and I've worked my way up the ranks through every possible academic job you could do in Manchester until I'm now a professor of cutaneous science. I'm also head of division for musculoskeletal and dermatological sciences. As part of my wider remit, I am section editor for the BJD. I sit on the editorial boards of 3 further scientific journals, and I'm a board member of the European Society for Dermatological Research. So for those dermatologists that might be listening today, you've got me to blame for the organisation of our international European meeting every year. So we don't work alone. We work very closely with our clinical colleagues, and we'll talk a little bit further about the uniqueness of that relationship later. But I particularly wanted to introduce you to Dr. Tamara Griffiths. So Tamara is a clinical person. She's a consultant dermatologist based at Salford Royal Teaching Hospital here in Manchester, and an honorary lecturer at the University of Manchester. Tamara's input to this course is absolutely fundamental. She's an immediate past president of the British Cosmetic Dermatology Group and a part of the British Association of Dermatologists. And she's been absolutely fundamental in setting out the learning agenda for aesthetic practitioners in the UK. So she's contributed to the Health Education England framework for teaching and also to the KEO report on standards within the aesthetic practice arena. So the clinical portions of the work that we do here in Manchester is really backed by an illustrious, very well regarded clinical academic in Tamara Griffiths. So why dermatology at Manchester? Well, we do have really now quite a long reputation. Manchester dermatology started in 1994 as an academic department. And we are internationally renowned for our research, not just in aesthetics, but in all skin disease research. So we have interest in inflammatory skin disease right the way through to healthy volunteer studies. We're also a member of the Biomedical Research Centre here at the University of Manchester. Dermatology is one of the themes. And as part of that award, we were ranked #1 for citations in dermatology in the UK. And part of our success is due to our very close collaboration, as I said earlier, with our local partner hospital, which is Salford Royal Trust. And this is the tertiary referrals centre for the northwest of Britain. So we look after approximately 5 million of our population. So for the course that we're talking about today, this is very much a clinical course. And therefore we are hoping to attract clinical, dental and nurse prescribers to our learning options. So we accept people who have medical degrees, and that can be either from the UK or overseas. And they need to be approved by the General Medical Council so that we can be assured of the level of understanding that you've received in your first degree. Likewise, we accept dental graduates, and again, the programme of study needs to have been recognised by the GDC or an international equivalent. And this year, for the first time, we are opening up our course to nurse prescribers. So these are those of you who have successfully completed as an independent nurse prescribing course and are registered as an independent prescriber with the NMC. And for those of you who perhaps don't have that course yet, but are interested in it, then we can signpost you to our colleagues within the School of Health Sciences who can provide you with the appropriate skills to become an independent prescriber. So now I'll hand over to Helen, and Helen will talk a little bit more about the fundamentals and of course the larger course structure. So Helen.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks again. It's great to be here today and to have this opportunity to share with you about this fantastic programme. So in this PG Cert, we have 4 modules or units. So the first is fundamentals of skin ageing, and as Professor Watson said, it's the prerequisite for the other units, which means it has to be taken first. After that, you can choose the other units that you want to take. So for fundamentals of skin ageing, it really covers the basic principles and understanding healthy young skin and how it changes with age, and therefore what the molecular targets are for the therapeutic agents that we take you through in the subsequent units. Unit 2 is skin rejuvenation. Unit 3 is injectables in aesthetic medicine, and Unit 4 is laser and light-based therapies. Each of these units are 15 credits. If you collect all 15 credits, then you can be awarded the postgraduate certificate. Okay. So each of the units lasts 10 weeks. And as I've said, you can take up to 4 units in a year and be awarded the PG Cert. You might choose to take the fundamentals of skin ageing and then wait until the next time the next unit comes along, and you can take that at a later date. And if you complete 4 units in 2 years, you can still get the PG Cert. So just to emphasise, there's no on-campus exams. This programme is delivered online. So this means that we have a lot of interactive activities embedded within the course structure, so you'll be encouraged to actively collaborate with your peers on the programme, and that's the same for the assessment. So when each of the units has 2 or 3 assessments, and at the end of each unit you'll be asked to take these as maybe it might be a written assignment or it might be a video presentation, and this is all done online, so there's no end of year on-campus exam.
Okay, so maybe I can tell you a little bit more about this particular unit, fundamentals of skin ageing. So what's really important to you as practitioners is that before you choose the treatment modality that you may have with a particular patient or client, that you understand the changes that are occurring to particularly the face as a function of age. So the basis of this unit is really to provide you with that fundamental understanding and knowledge which allows you to make the best possible clinical judgments to allow really robust assessment of skin, and how you will therefore go on to treat the concerns of your patient. So this unit really is about the fundamental changes which occur to skin as we age, and of course it's not just skin, we're talking about the musculature, attrition of fat pads, and also changes in bone loss. So really the point of this is to provide you with the knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of skin ageing, and to be able to apply this knowledge to clinical assessment when patients come to you and ask for their aesthetic treatments. So as Helen mentioned, we will provide you with a good understanding. Sorry, can you just go back one, Lisa? Back one. Thank you. So we will provide you with a very good understanding of what a healthy skin structure would look like. We'll then explore the molecular mechanisms of skin ageing, and then you will also develop the scientific knowledge around mechanisms of action. So particularly around non-surgical topical anti-aging treatments. Okay, next slide. So there are 4 key topics within the unit. So the structure and function of healthy skin, a really good understanding of the changes that occur to the dermis, and an understanding of the dermis in itself and its organisation and architecture. The impact of sunlight, which is the major cause of accelerated aging, which we see particularly around photoexposed sites of the face, décolletage, backs of hands, neck, etc. And also the pathobiology. So being able to understand what's driving the changes that we see clinically. Helen?
Thank you, Rachel. So just to give you an overview of the study time and resources, we recommend that each unit has a study allocation of around 15 hours a week. So that stretches across 10 weeks, so that's 150 hours. And so that's just key to be able to understand that, so that you can embed that into your working week. And during that 10-week unit, you will have access to the full online program, and we have recorded video lectures, we have recommended reading, but we also have a number of interactive activities that we encourage you to engage with your peers to enable you to discuss and critically appraise recently published papers or new therapies and procedures. Okay, thanks.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And apologies, Rachel, I got a bit click happy there through the slides. I hope you've all found that extremely interesting and insightful with regards, as I said, to the first prerequisite unit. We do want to hear from you. I know I've seen a couple of questions come up already, which is fantastic. So please do use the chat function if you've got any burning questions for the panel. But as I said, if you are watching the webinar back, just still email them through to me at studyonline@manchester.ac.uk. Okay, so the first question we have, I know this was sort of touched on earlier by Rachel, but why is there no practical element to the course? I know we come across this one quite a lot, but if Rachel, would you care to sort of...
Yes, no, absolutely. So fundamentally, this is a knowledge-based programme of study. So we're not really assessing your clinical capabilities at applying these procedures. What we want to do is make sure that you understand the basis of why you are choosing to do a particular rejuvenating treatment. So really, it's not about the practical application, it's about the underpinning knowledge.
Wonderful, thank you. We've also had another question with regards to, and again, this is another query we do get a lot from our students, but it's our lectures run at set times, and what if I can't make one?
So I can answer that. So the lectures are all recorded, so they're online, and you can access those 24 hours a day. And fit that into your own study schedule. So there's lectures, recommended reading, the discussion threads can all happen asynchronously, which means that you can join in a discussion, post your point, and then you know, watch your group's response. So all of that can be fitted around your normal working life. The only exceptions are that we do embed 2 or 3 tutorials, group tutorial sessions per unit. And in those, we might talk about the assessments, if you've got any questions about the assessments. We also invite our module lead, and who's usually a senior researcher in that field, or a senior consultant dermatologist practicing aesthetics, who will be able to share discussion points around a particular theme. Okay, so there will be 3 points in any unit that we try and bring you all together as a group, so you can discuss synchronously a particular theme. Okay, so that's the only sort of time limiting factor on the program. And we also, just to make sure you're aware, because we understand this is a global program, we do try and change the times, but we take into account people's geographical locations. So it might be that it's the middle of the day for the UK, but it means that anyone in West Coast America can still join in, or and so on. So we do take that into account as well.
Wonderful, thank you, Helen. We've had, I guess, a couple more questions just come through. So again, I know you'll both be able to explain this. So someone's asked, is it a master's? And also they've said, is it considered a full or a part-time course?
So at the moment, the CPDs, the 4 independent units, build to the postgraduate certificate. So that's not a master's level. It is a level 7, but it's not a master's level. We do have other programs within our portfolio. So if you feel that you would like to do a PG diploma, by which you have all of the learning that you have in the CPD with some additional portfolio elements, and then in the final year, having completed the PG diploma, you would transfer to the master's arm of the programme, where you'll be working one-on-one with an academic to deliver a particular piece of research. So it's very different. The master's is very much very academically focused, and particularly that final year. But the majority of the learning that you see within the CPDs are aligned to the PG diploma, except for the professional portfolio. With regards to part-time, full-time, this is very much a part-time course, as are all our programmes within our portfolio. So even if you were to choose to do the PG diploma or the masters, then the time commitment for the units would be the same, and it will be done in your own time. So regardless of the programme you choose, then the way of working is the same regardless.
Lovely, thank you, Rachel. I can see we had another question from Mona. Mona, I know Mona had also asked about the masters and any sort of time on campus for the practical elements. I hope that does answer your question, but if not, please do just message me on the chat, and I'll specifically put the wording to Rachel and Helen. We've had another question just with regards to once the course is completed and once our students have achieved the PG certificate, what can they expect after that? What would do we recommend any practical advice for them?
So it's interesting. So thank you for the question around the Professional Linguistic Assessment Board tests. We would expect, or we would hope, that if you were hoping to practice in the UK, that you would have that, because I think it's part of the professional standards of being certainly a medically qualified doctor in the UK. I think opportunity-wise, well, you know, we're not quite living in the Wild West now. I think it was at one point anybody could practice most of these minimally invasive procedures. What we're trying to do really is raise the standard so that people who choose to come and have aesthetic treatments are choosing the people with the right knowledge and right experimental base. I think what's really important is that you consider looking at the JCCP register, which is the clinical standards for aesthetic practitioners. This knowledge base will help you to become accredited to that register.
Thank you, Rachel. I hope that answers the question. And just finally, we've just had another question come through. Just in regards to the assessments, what can people expect? For example, what would we be looking for the end of the first unit? What would people expect from the assessment?
So thanks for that. Yeah, thanks for your question. So for the fundamentals of skin aging, we obviously, as I've said, there's no exam. So in this unit we have a video-based presentation. So you'll be given a topic to work on and go and research, and then you have to present that as a recorded video. And then there's a peer review report where students are asked to review a video and then use the marking criteria to grade that. But in the other units, we have a range of different assessments to try and make sure that we are addressing all of your different learning styles. So there might be a mock consultation, there might be a critical appraisal of papers, you know, and writing your own opinion on that recently published study. There might be group discussions around a particular question, research question. So we also have what we call formative assessments, so where you're not graded, but it's to be able to, for you to be able to monitor your own learning journey. So we all have quizzes, case studies, multiple choice question quizzes with short or short answer questions, and the answers will be provided online, and then any that you don't understand, you can always go back and re-review that learning content. So we have both formal assessment, which is where you're graded, the summative assessment, but we also have the formative non-graded assessments for you to be able to assess your own understanding.
Wonderful, thank you, Helen. We've just had another question come through, which is fantastic. So thank you all for taking the time to put these to the panel. Again, it's probably a very open one, but what sort of job opportunities can students expect upon completion of the course?
So for this, you know, that we are expecting people to become aesthetic practitioners. This might be alongside the role that you already have. So you might be a GP who is considering doing some aesthetic work. You may be a dentist who's also considering widening your practice to aesthetic work. So that's what I would expect. So it might be that you choose, therefore, to have that as part of your portfolio of work, or it might be that you choose to go and work for a commercial enterprise. So, for example, there are numerous clinics that provide aesthetic treatments, and you may choose to be employed by one of those.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Rachel. Okay, brilliant. I think that's everything for now. So thank you to everybody who submitted a question. As I said, if you think of anything afterwards, you can still just email them through to myself, and I'll make sure that they go to both Helen and Rachel. So that's studyonline@manchester.ac.uk. And please also do send any questions with regards to your application through as well, and I'll pick that up and hopefully be able to help you with that. Just for awareness, we are now accepting applications for the PG certificate in skin ageing and aesthetic medicine. So if you are, you know, interested and keen to join the course, I really would recommend you start your application sooner rather than later. It's an extremely popular course, so we just want to make sure that you manage to secure your place. And as I said, you can complete the application form online, and I'll be here to help you with that. So any questions, please do just let me know. But finally, I'd just like to say a really big thank you to everybody watching today, and I said anybody watching back, but also a massive thank you as well to both Rachel and Helen for going through the course and also taking the time to go through those questions as well.
You're very welcome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for joining us today.